In this video will show you the most efficient method, what you determine is the most pleasurable way of getting as many rings as you possibly can in Sonic Adventure 2. There are multiple options for you today that I'll show you. This first one, I'm pretty sure everybody knows it, it's the City Escape Chao mission. The idea of this is to go through the stage without finding the Chao until you have the max 999 rings in your inventory. I'd done this in like 2 full runs, and then I got them on my 3rd run, probably the one you notice the time go past the least if you do like this mission and you've got some time to kill as well. It took me about 8 minutes, but this is by far not the quickest and most efficient way that you could do it. I've done the run in 7 minutes, you could probably do it in less. So for this, we'll call it, for argument's sake, the 1000 rings is 8 minutes on City Escape. The next method, which is by all means of the world the quickest, is also my least favourite. You're in and out of the stage selection menu quite a lot, which eats up about 10, 11, maybe 12 seconds at a time, just finishing the stage and loading back into it, without concluding on the 999 rings instead, because you need to go back in a couple of times to get up to that. As you're doing this, it is probably going to be about 24-25 seconds to finish the mission. But you'll be on mad space as Rouge, get the 100 rings. The most efficient way to do this is definitely through the treasure scope, so you will require the treasure scope before you go into this, but I'll have another video showing you all our upgrade abilities and locations at some point in the future as well, if you don't already have them. The time it takes to leave the mission and go back in for each run will go up to an average of about 34, maybe 35 seconds for each 100 rings. Probably the biggest plus side to this though is the fact that you probably aren't going to take damage, you're likely not going to die, and you're not going to lose your rings, so that's always a plus for this run as well. But about 1000 rings in this is going to set you back about 5 minutes, maybe 5.5 minutes, something like that. Maybe a bit more if you're not really that efficient at getting the treasure scope in and out and that sort of thing, but once you memorise the little route that you see in the video, it's super easy to go and get them and cut your time down. Just maximise when you're falling off ledges instead of jumping off, and if you can sort of aim them a little bit better towards going in the underside instead of messing it up a few times like I done, you know. The third method is super simple, it's the easiest, completely risk-free, but is definitely the longest method and definitely not consistent by any means. You can jump into the Chao world and pick up the default fruit that falls from the trees, sell these at 10 rings a piece. Although this is a super long way to get your rings, you don't run the risk of taking damage, losing your rings, falling off the edge. Though it is free to get these little fruit pieces, I really wouldn't recommend doing that. Maybe sell an eggshell is probably your best bet, things you dug up as Knuckles and Rouge in the garden. Or take advantage of this next tip, but the last tip that I've got for you isn't necessarily a trick, it's more of an exploit. So if you want to do your runs completely legit, then totally avoid this, because this is not the way if you're trying to do this legit. The only thing that improves through this method though is your ring count. You're not going to be getting A ranks and stages because of this, but it's definitely a glitch or an exploit that wasn't intended by the game, so if you don't want bad juju, then stay away from this one. This is a little bit more tricky, but totally risk-free. You can't lose your products from what you're selling, and all you need to do here is buy a piece from the black market, like a cooking pot, a box, an apple, or any other sort of helmet or accessory for your Chao. The more expensive this is, by the way, the better. Take this item, place it into any one of your gardens. Once this has been placed, save, load out of the area as you would do normally, and then go straight back in. Go retrieve the item that you just purchased in the black market and take it to the black market and sell your item for the number of rings you were offered. Leave the market, the little closet, but stay in the kindergarten just now. Pause the game, go into your options and change a setting. In this clip I used my rumble setting, I just turned it on and then back off again. This triggers like a save state to like save your ring count and I'm assuming a number of other things, but not the items that you have or that are in your garden. So close the game after this without exiting, so don't leave the kindergarten, and close it through either the task manager or right click the icon in the taskbar and click and close, just whatever method doesn't allow your game to save. Now if you take note of your rings before, you've probably noticed they went up the increment that you were given, obviously because you sold them like a minute ago. But go back into whatever garden that you dropped your item in at first to save it into your garden, and your item will still be there. You can repeat this process as many times as you want. Feel free to get as many rings as you can, really. The only downside to this personally is the boot of the game for me. It's a little bit annoying. It takes its time. Probably going to be about a minute by the time you close it and then it boots back up. It's likely going to be about a minute before the time you're back into the game. That between going to get the item, selling the item and all that nonsense, you're probably going to be looking about, if your item's worth 1,000 rings, you're probably going to get every 2.5 minutes, which totally excels any other method that we've went through. So 1,000 rings here costs you 2.5 minutes of your time through the Chao exploit, which is by far the best, most efficient thing to do. Although I wouldn't recommend it if you're trying to do a totally legit run, if you're streaming it, if you're recording it, if you're just trying to do a let's play. I really don't think that's the most efficient thing to do, but if you're only there to enjoy the Chao garden and have some fun, then by all means, go for it. Take from this what you will though. If you want an easier way to farm rings but still have fun, probably look into the city escape method. You can pair this up collecting chaos drives, lives or specific animals for your Chao to make this a lot less tedious as well. Use the rouge method if you think you can cut that time down to like 15 or 16 seconds. It has been finished in 11 seconds before by other people that I've seen on YouTube, and it's definitely worth a watch. It's quite spectacular. Or if you're not really too fussed and you just want all your rings, just use the exploit that I showed you at the end. Whatever method realistically works for you, then use it by all means to your heart's content. Hope you enjoyed this Sonic video in 2020. I don't know why I'm doing it either, but regardless, hope I helped you out. If I did, leave a like if you fancy it, and I'll see you in a bit. Bye.